I'd been a cop in Chicago for 20 years. Long enough to think I'd already seen everything. Long enough to believe that fear had nothing left to offer me. I was wrong. It was a Tuesday morning, just after 3 a.m. Rain was hammering against the windshield of my squad car, loud and relentless. I was parked in a narrow alley, sipping stale coffee, counting down the minutes until my shift finally ended. Then, the radio crackled. Dispatch said, "Unit 4, we have a 911 hang-up. Location is the county morgue." I laughed. I actually laughed. I assumed it was a prank. The morgue is locked tight overnight. The only people inside are in drawers. I grabbed the mic. "Dispatch, clarify," I said. "You mean the security guard called?" There was a pause. Then dispatch came back. "Negative, Unit 4. The signal originated from the basement, cold storage. Signal traced to drawer number 4. My stomach dropped. I knew exactly who was in drawer number 4. We brought him in earlier that morning. A John Doe, pulled from the river, dead at least 3 days. No ID, no wallet, no phone. We searched him twice. I drove over immediately. The building was dark when I arrived. Rain coated the concrete, making everything look slick, almost oily. The night guard was waiting at the front door, pale, hands shaking. "I didn't make that call, Detective," he said. "I swear." "I know," I replied. "Open it." We took the stairs down to the basement. Each step felt colder than the last. The low hum of freezer units echoed through the hall. The air smelled like chemicals and old pennies. We stopped in front of the wall of metal drawers. Number 4. I wrapped my hand around the handle. The metal was freezing. "Dispatch," I said. "I'm at the location. Confirm the trace." "Signal is still active, Unit 4. It's directly in front of you." I pulled the drawer open. The body bag was there, exactly how we left it. Zipped, sealed, untouched. But there was a sound coming from inside. A faint glow flickered beneath the plastic, a soft digital light. I unzipped the bag, slowly. The John Doe lay there, gray skin, eyes closed, completely still. Resting on his chest, right over his heart, was a cell phone. The screen was lit. It was on an active call, connected to 911. I didn't touch it at first. I just stared. We never left a phone on him. The medical examiner stripped him completely. There was no phone. Then the speaker crackled. I leaned in closer. It wasn't a voice. It was breathing. Slow, wet, deliberate breathing. The body in the bag wasn't moving. His chest was perfectly still. The breathing was coming from the other end of the line. I picked up the phone and pressed it to my ear. "This is Detective Miller," I said. "Who is this?" Silence. Then a voice. Low, rough, scratchy. "Did you check his teeth, Detective?" My blood went cold. "Who is this?" I demanded. "Check his teeth." The line went dead. I looked back down at the body. My hands were shaking. I wasn't supposed to touch him without the medical examiner, but I had to know. I reached out and pulled his jaw open. Something was shoved inside his mouth. A small piece of paper, rolled tight. I pulled it free and unfolded it. It was a photograph, a Polaroid. It was a picture of me, taken from inside my squad car, time-stamped 5 minutes ago. The phone in my hand started ringing again. I answered it. The voice whispered, "Turn around, Detective." I spun around, hand on my holster. I expected to see a man with a knife, a gun, something. But the room was empty. Just the rows of stainless steel drawers and the hum of the freezer. "Dispatch," I whispered into my radio. "I have a potential 1031 in the basement. I need backup. Now." Static. I checked my radio. Dead battery. It had been full 10 minutes ago. The phone in my hand, the dead man's phone, buzzed again. A text message this time. One word. Look. I looked back at the open drawer, at the John Doe. His eyes were open. I stumbled back, hitting the metal cart behind me. The crash echoed like a gunshot in the quiet room. I stared at the body. The eyes were milky, clouded over with death. They weren't seeing anything. It was just a muscle spasm, rigor mortis fading. That's what I told myself. But then I saw the chest move. A shallow, rattling breath. I didn't wait. I ran. I sprinted for the stairs, my boots slamming against the concrete. I hit the door to the lobby and burst through, gasping for air. The night guard, an old guy named Earl, was sitting at the desk. He jumped when he saw me. "Detective, you look like you've seen a ghost." "Lock the door," I wheezed. "Lock the basement door, now." I grabbed the landline on his desk to call for backup. No dial tone. The line was cut. That's when the lights went out. The emergency red lights kicked on, bathing the lobby in the color of fresh blood. "Earl," I said, keeping my voice low, "do you have a weapon?" Just my flashlight," he stammered. "Get behind the desk." We waited. Minutes felt like hours. Then we heard it. Thump, thump, thump. Something was dragging itself up the basement stairs. It sounded wet, heavy, like a wet sandbag being pulled up the steps one by one. I drew my service pistol. I aimed at the basement door. "Police!" I yelled. "Identify yourself!" The dragging stopped. Then the phone in my pocket buzzed again. The dead man's phone. I had forgotten I was still holding it. I answered it on speaker. "Earl has a family, detective. 2 daughters, Sarah and Emily." Earl's eyes went wide. "How? Who is that?" Voice, "Open the door, detective, or I pay them a visit." I looked at the door. I looked at Earl. He was terrified. "Who are you?" I demanded. Voice, "I'm the one you forgot." The line went dead. Suddenly, the basement door handle turned slowly. The metal groaned. I fired a warning shot into the door frame. "Back away!" The handle stopped moving. Silence. Then a sound came from behind us, from the front entrance of the morgue. Someone was knocking on the glass front doors. Tap, tap, tap. I spun around. Standing outside in the rain under the flickering street lamp was a man. He was wearing a gray suit, soaking wet. He wasn't moving. He was just smiling, and he was holding a phone to his ear. Seen the realization. "Earl, stay down," I said. I moved toward the glass doors, gun raised. As I got closer, I realized something that made my blood run cold. The man in the suit, he looked familiar. He looked exactly like the John Doe in the basement. Same height, same face, even the same gray, dead skin. But this one was standing, walking. My phone buzzed. Voice, "Let me in. It's cold out here." "You're dead," I said, my voice shaking. "I saw you in the drawer." The man outside tilted his head. "Death is just a paperwork error, detective." He raised his hand and pressed a piece of paper against the glass. It was a police file, my police file. It was a case report from 12 years ago, the River City Strangler, a case I never solved. We found 5 bodies, but never the guy. I obsessed over it. It ruined my marriage. It almost cost me my badge. The man outside pointed a gray finger at the bottom of the page, at the signature. It wasn't signed by me. It was signed by him. The lights in the lobby flickered and died completely. Total darkness. I heard the glass front door shatter. "Earl, run!" I screamed. I fired blindly into the dark. Bang, bang, bang. Muzzle flashes lit up the room like strobe lights. In the flashes, I saw him. He was moving unnaturally fast, on the ceiling, crawling like a spider, limbs twisted at wrong angles. I felt a cold hand grab my ankle. I went down hard. My gun slid across the floor. I kicked out, connecting with something soft. I scrambled back, my hand finding my gun. I aimed it at the shadow looming over me. "End of the line," I yelled. I pulled the trigger. Click. Empty. The shadow leaned down. I could smell the river water on him, rotting algae and silt. He placed something in my hand. Then the weight lifted. The cold retreated. The backup sirens wailed in the distance. Blue and red lights washed over the lobby. I was alone. Earl was shivering behind the desk, unharmed. The glass door was shattered, but there was no one there. No wet footprints. No body. Scene: the aftermath. They never found the John Doe. When we went back down to the basement, drawer number 4 was empty. The bag was folded neatly on the floor. The chief told me it was stress, said I hallucinated. They put me on mandatory leave. But I know what I saw, and I know what he gave me. I sat in my car that night looking at the object he placed in my hand right before the cops arrived. It was a badge. My badge. The one I lost 12 years ago during the Strangler investigation. The one I swore I dropped in the river. It was clean, polished, and on the back, scratched into the metal, was a date. Tomorrow's date. I don't sleep anymore. I sit by the window watching the street, because my phone just rang again, and the caller ID says, drawer number 4.